be horrendous. But, yeah. Anyway, we're here to discuss and talk about one of your interests. I know, with your other hat on, you're extremely interested in health and what have you. But we're going to lighten up today a little bit and discuss one of your other interests, and it's a particular genre of music called ska music.
Indeed, yeah.
Now, we've gone through the playlist on the Sunday, and we've got about 5 or 6 tunes to play for you folks. All good ones, we hope. And probably you recognise, I'd think about 3 or 4 of them at least. We didn't go for the
obscure ones.
The one you suggested wasn't in the library, Jim. Let's face it.
That's right. Yeah.
But tell us, what is ska music, Jim? Come on.
Well, ska originated in Jamaica in about the 60s, and it's actually a mixture of traditional Jamaican folk music called mento.
Right.
And in about the late 40s, 50s, transistor radios became available in Jamaica.
Right.
So the population used to tune into American radio stations.
Yeah.
And they heard a lot of American R&B and bebop.
Yes.
And then the local musicians done a fusion where they mixed it up with the original Jamaican mento rhythms.
Yeah.
Because it's got a very distinct rhythm, as defined by what they call the offbeat. And can I do a little
Yeah.
That's the actual ska rhythm.
Yeah.
They call it the upbeat or the offbeat.
Yeah.
So that's what gives the ska its unique
kind
of rhythm, which is very easily recognised.
As a layman, what's the difference between that and reggae then?
Reggae has the offbeat, but it's a lot slower and more laid back.
Okay.
And they have the drop beat on the drums, which I could tap on the desk if you want. But
yeah, have a go, mate.
Well, this is a reggae beat.
Okay, right.
That's got
Oh, I see. Yes.
2 distinct rhythms.
Right. Okay.
And at different tempos, because ska is quite lively and up-tempo, and reggae can be very laid back.
Now, okay, thanks very much for that, Jim. That's a brief resume of what ska is. The first record you've chosen was a surprise to me. Tell us about this.
Well,
it's My Boy Lollipop by Millie.
By Millie, yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was just a general Jamaican.
Yeah, it does sound
record.
a bit like an ordinary pop song, but it has got that. It has got that offbeat, distinct ska rhythm in it. But it was the first record really that came out of Jamaica that put Jamaica on the map commercially in the world.
Yeah.
And she was only 16. It was a one-off hit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and she was promoted by a guy called Chris Blackwell, who from the Cross and Blackwell Beans family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his brother was living in Jamaica, and Chris Blackwell started Island Records in England.
The Island Record label.
Who actually, promoted Bob. He paid for
and
promoted Bob Marley's first album in the UK in 1979. So it was the first commercial pop record, if you like, that came out of Jamaica in about 1963.
Well, let's have a listen to it right now, shall we?
My boy lollipop, you make my heart go giddy up. You are as sweet as candy. You're my sugar dandy. Oh, my boy lollipop, never leave me, because it would grieve me. My heart told me so. I love you so.
Well, 2 minutes and 2 seconds that song lasted. Just about right, Jim, isn't
Exactly, yeah. For a commercial single, just about the right.
These days they're about 3.5, 4 minutes long, and of course way back in the 60s, well, oh dear. But yes, I reckon we're going to probably discuss this a bit later on. I think the punk sort of brought the 2-minute single back, didn't it? From these rather elongated affairs. You're listening to Steve Young's Local Matters on Saint FM 94.7. My guest is Jim Pryle. Subject matter is ska music, and we're going to sort of come across local things during the show. Don't fear. Okay, so that's the first record you chose by Millie. I do remember it. I can remember it in my grandma's house being played on the radio and what have you. Now, the next record is one I bought. Actually. And it's, of course, Prince Buster. Would you like to talk about that a bit?
Yes,
Jim?
yeah, Al Capone.
You're the man.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about Prince Buster myself, but he did record this song called Al Capone, which, when it came out in about 1965, it was a big hit in the UK, because at the time the youth culture in the UK was the mods.
Yes.
It was a mods and rockers time.
Yes.
And the mods were all wearing the smart suits, and
yes,
they really went for Jamaican ska in a big way in the dance halls in the UK, in the clubs.
Yeah.
So, Prince Buster was a big hit.
Yeah.
In 1965.
Was that? Do you remember that in the Midlands?
Oh yeah, massive. The mod movement was massive in the whole.
In the whole country, it was.
Yeah, it swept. It was a youth.
Yeah.
It was. It was really big.
Yeah.
And black music became very much part of the the diet of the music that the mods. Like,
sort of dress
that and
code.
Motown.
Yeah, dress code. Awarded to it, wasn't there?
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
sort of
Smart mohair
suits.
Exactly.
White
Brogue
socks.
shoes. Yeah. Both. What was comb back hair, wasn't it?
Yes.
And there was hipsters.
Yes.
And Carnaby Street was the place in London, the fashion centre of the UK.
Yeah.
As opposed to the rockers who were the motorbike gang and the two distinct
yes.
cultures going on. Yeah.
But yes. I do remember that. I was a bit young for that, actually, folks. I was. But I remember my brother, who's a few years older than me, he, I think he went up to Clacton once for that meeting of mods and... Oh, dear me.
That was the bank holiday
bank
disturbances,
holiday, terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't think this record represents violence. It's a fun record, so we'll listen to it now after the messages.
If you are looking for that exclusive gift or the perfect finishing touch to your outfit, then visit Finale Accessories in the King's Head Centre opposite the White Horse Lane car park in Maldon, where you will find a surprisingly large range of exclusive luxury gifts, jewellery, handbags and accessories from brands such as Pilgrim, Fiorelli, Kipling, Nika, Radley, Piracini, plus many more. If you can't visit us at Finale Accessories Maldon, then you can visit our online store at www.finaleaccessories.com. Delivery is free in the UK. You can also call us on 01621 854471.
Saint FM 94.7.
Al Capone, guns don't argue.
absolutely manic sound, really. Jim and I were just listening to that and thinking, goodness me, all the different bits and bobs that are going on in that record. Absolute mania inside that studio. You know, like and all that. We're both out of breath, actually. But that was a sort of traditional ska record, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
From the mid-60s, 65.
I said about 1965,
65.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to make a giant leap now into the late 70s, I would have said. And because the next record you've chosen is by the Specials. Now, this is a different type of ska.
Yeah, well, they did take Alcohol as their first that song, and they called it Gangsters.
Yes, that's right.
And they came about at the end of the punk era in about 1979 in Coventry.
They did.
The Specials.
But it was called two-tone music.
Well, that was the name of the label started by the keyboard player of the Specials, Jerry Dammers.
Right.
Because a lot of the time there's quite a lot of racism going on. Mm-hmm. It was all, there was skinheads.
Yeah.
There was a lot of violence towards blacks. And Jerry Dammers is a clever guy. He put a band together of black and white people to try and counter this racism and, you know, to make a point that we're all here together. We've got to get on. And it's just such a waste of energy, you know, people going around violence and all that stuff.
I think it was very brave, actually.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the two-tone thing it took off throughout the country.
It did.
Yeah.
It was very big in this part of the world.
Right, yes, yeah.
But everybody knew the roots of it were it was the Midlands.
Exactly. Well, it started in Coventry.
Yeah.
And
were there any special clubs, Jim, that you remember?
Well, there was Tiffany's was a big nightclub in Coventry at the time. Like, it used to be called the Locarno. It was a big ballroom. That was still going, where they used to have major bands on. There was quite a few little nightclubs in the town, because the actual centre of Coventry is not very big at all. The actual centre is quite small. And there were several clubs there. Yeah, there was, I can't remember the name of them now, but what was called the Cottage. Well, the memory's gone. But yeah, there were several clubs, and it took off in a big way, you know, the two-tone thing.
Because it definitely did here in this part of the world.
Right, yeah. Well, it was all very cleverly marketed as well, you know. And they didn't make it overnight, the Specials. They had to work really hard, you know. Sleep round on the floors in London recording studios, and it wasn't until they got a good manager like Bernie Rhodes was his name.
Oh, right.
He was already in the business, and he helped them, you know, get established. But once the two-tone explosion started, Coventry became a real focus for the music business.
Yes.
So if you were in a band in Coventry, you were in with a shot, which I was for a while, you know.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
So there was a lot of bands in Coventry, and it was really a happening place for a couple of years. Yeah, it was exciting times, you know.
Okay, well, let's have a listen to Gangsters.
Yeah, this is the Specials version of the Prince Buster track you just played.
Right, let's go.
Said you've been threatened by gangs.
And that was the real sound of Blue Beat. Two-tone. Thanks, Tony. Two-tone. And you can tell the shift in emphasis there. I think that's a very clever record that, you know, I'm not brilliant at music, but it's very clever when you think that's based on the previous record, which was Al Capone, of course.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Now, what other bands were there, Tony? Jim.
Even.
Nearly said it.
That's all right, Steve. Well, the other main band at the time was the Selector. And they were the
And
two...
we're going to hear them in a minute.
They were the two main comedy bands that were on the Two-Tone label.
Right.
I was in a band myself called Hot Snacks, and our claim to fame, we got support slots with Selector and the Specials.
Right.
And Bad Manners, we got
Bad Manners.
Bad Manners with
yeah.
Buster Blood Vessel.
Yes.
Dougie, they kindly offered us a national tour supporting them in the winter of 1980. So that was a good experience. We played about 25 gigs with them leading up to Christmas 1980, so that was a great experience.
Right.
We didn't make it, we didn't get anywhere because we weren't really an out-and-out ska band.
No.
I think if we had been, we would have had more of a chance. We were
Yeah.
a bit too off the cuff, really, so... But we did try and get singles out.
How did it all run off with the... I mean, I suppose punk was on the way out by the time this was coming in, if my memory serves me well,
That's
which
right,
it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right, though, yeah.
So what was the run-off like? Was there any antagonism between... Or did it just
No, I think
join?
it came out of that spirit of kids, if you like.
Yeah.
Just doing it for themselves. Like
Yeah.
you know, when all the 70s superstars were still, you know, doing big elaborate concept albums and concerts, and
Yeah.
the youth got sick of that.
Yes, it did.
It wasn't speaking to them at all, so that's why punk grew out of it.
And
But the funny thing is, though, and I have to say this, they replaced it with three chord. They replaced three chords with another three chords. Really, they just spread it all up. It's the same chords, but
Yeah.
and that's the kids could relate to that. It was homemade, you know, again homegrown.
Yeah.
Anybody with a guitar could, you know, get in the garage with your mates and just bash out a noise. You didn't have to be musically proficient. It was more about just doing it and enjoying it. And you know, there's a whole segment of the youth population related to that, and the locals and ska grew out of that. Really, it's a continuation.
Yes.
But the political thing did play a big part in the.
It did, didn't
evolution
it?
Of ska,
I mean,
this racism thing was going.
what was it? Is it Ghost Town, that record?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that came out about
this
1981.
town is nothing but a ghost
a brilliant
town.
song, really. Because it did
That was highly political, really, wasn't
yeah,
it?
well, whether you like Margaret Thatcher a lot or not, she came along and she made massive changes to this country. And the hearts were ripped out of some
Okay. Yeah.
towns and cities, you know, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
They hit hard times, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the result. But yeah, ghost towns seemed to what's that word? Epitomise.
Epitomise.
Even what was going on. Very well indeed, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going on to your next selection now, which is the Selector. Now,
Yes.
on the library, it's actually spelled Selecta. Is that correct?
I've seen that kind of slang, but it's
not.
No, it's Selector.
OR.
And I think a selector is another word for a DJ.
Oh, well,
Jamaica.
I'm a
Selector.
presenter, not a selector. Oh, is it?
Selector, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Right, after the messages, we're going to On My Radio.
Did you know that the Plume School in Maldon has a dance studio, outdoor play equipment, and an artificial grass pitch, which is the largest pitch on a site in England? Alright, calm down. Did I mention that it's also a specialist arts college and they support Saint FM, your true local radio station? What did I say? If you want to find out more about these facilities, then call the office on 01621 854 681.
Your true number one local channel. Maldon District, Saint FM 94.7. Radio for Maldon and Burnham.
Okay, the familiar sounds, I'm sure, for some of us anyway, of the Selector on my radio.
I put my baby on the radio. He played it all day. I go. He like to dance to it down in the streets. He said he loved me, but he
The Selector there with On My Radio as part of our Scar session this afternoon with Jim Pryle from Coventry. Okay, it's not local matters as such, but we did say that this came right across the country, this genre of music, and I think Maldon, Chelmsford, or every youngster of that from that era knew ska.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Okay, well, we've got one more record to go, Jim. Jim, there I go again. If I get this right, it is Jim, and it's not Tony. So let's just settle this once and for all. One Step Beyond was a record that I know.
Oh.
Because it was on the B-side of Al Capone by Prince Buster.
Right.
And Madness Madness covered it beautifully.
Yeah.
And that's your last record today.
Yeah.
And now, Madness brought, I don't know, this two-tone movement, whatever you scars, stroke two-tone movement, into the real public domain that made it very popular, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. They
had several hits.
Yeah.
And Suggs, bless him, is still going with it
solo
now.
career.
Yeah.
They
He's very successful.
Oh yeah.
Do you know I think he wrote All Together Now, actually. All
for the
Together,
farm.
yeah,
For
the farm, yeah.
Oh, right. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Clever man, actually.
Oh yeah. One Step Beyond was on the two-tone label. They only had the one release on the two-tone label,
Yeah.
and then they went their own way then, because they were London-based anyway.
By the
And
way,
they became the Nutty
it was
Boys,
called
and they had
two-tone because
Yeah.
of white and black together, wasn't
Exactly,
it? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And a little bit of clever marketing that went on in Coventry when it was launched. Jerry Dammers had loads of little peel-off stickers made, yeah, and he used to bribe the kids to go and stick them on. He used to bribe the kids to stick them on all the seats on the buses and all that. So that
I
logo
see.
of the black and white
Yeah,
people dancing
yeah.
soon became recognised. You know, it's a
I
good bit
see.
of marketing, that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is good, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Well, we're finishing off now, Jim. Anything more you'd like to say? I mean, we've done ska in about 40 minutes, which is perhaps not doing it quite justice. We need to. I think we're going to explore this a little bit more with Lou Blackwell later on in the year. We may have started something
Oh, good.
on
Good.
Saint FM.
Yeah.
I
I think we had a little brief history.
had a brief history,
And
and,
this-
I think the interesting thing for me is that it became highly politicised. Frankly,
Yeah.
It
that's right.
did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, there was no doubt about it that people like Billy Bragg. I don't know if you've heard of Billy Bragg.
yeah, I love him.
He's
Yeah,
quite political in his comments. At the time of the special, there was what they call the Red Wedge tour.
yes,
That was,
yes.
you know, they were all
I remember.
Labour kind of
Yeah,
as opposed to what
yeah,
Mrs. Thatcher was doing. So you're
I
always
know.
going to get that anyway. But
yeah.
yeah, so there was a bit. There was quite
It was
heavy politicised. Yeah.
very, very interesting time for
Yeah.
music, I thought, and certainly for British music particularly.
Yeah.
When you compare it back to, I don't know, the Bay City Rollers,
Oh,
I love them.
Their place
But,
in
you
pop
know,
history, exactly.
I
yeah.
guess I have.
Yeah, this was a bit more,
This was a bit more hard hitting, wasn't it?
I think it reflected what was going on in the country, really, and in
Yeah.
the cities. You know, if you're from a Midlands city or town, and you've got there's a lot of problems in industrial relations and whatever,
Yeah.
whoever's fault it is,
Yes.
it's going to be reflected by the youth that
Yeah.
live there. You know,
Yeah.
and if there's bands going on, they're going to reflect what's going on.
Yes.
So,
Quite.
yeah. So. But
Well-
it's going strong though, Ska.
It is still
there's a
going
big following
strong.
for it still. Yeah, there's a lot of what they call new wave ska bands.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
No, I
loads
didn't
of-
know that.
Yeah, there is a lot. So
Okay. That's good.
it's an established genre now, you know, like other forms, and I suppose we'll just carry on developing.
Yeah. Well, we're going to listen to, I suppose, what you could call quite a commercial record
Yeah.
by Madness to finish off with.
Hey, you! Don't watch that! Watch this! This is the heavy, heavy monster sound! One step beyond!
Too Good to Miss. And that was Madness, finishing off our mini Ska history session this afternoon. Many thanks to Jim Pryle for coming along and talking us through that and being here this afternoon, Jim. Good choices indeed.
Thank you very much, Steve. I really enjoyed that, and it was great to hear that.